I called the police. Immediately, when my sister's family broke into my new house with a stolen spare key. I just closed on my first house 3 weeks ago. Nothing fancy, just a 2-bedroom place with a small yard. I gave my sister Trish a spare key because she helped me move some boxes in. That was my mistake. Last Tuesday, I came home from work around 6. I pull into the driveway and there's a minivan parked in front of my garage. Not blocking it completely, but close enough to be annoying. I walk up to my front door and it's unlocked. I know I locked it that morning because I always double check. I push the door open and hear kids screaming inside. Not like scared screaming, just loud playing. I walk in and Trish's 2 kids are jumping on my couch. Her husband Glenn is sitting in my recliner watching my TV. Trish is in the kitchen going through my cabinets. I just stood there for a second. Then I said, "What are you doing here?" Trish turns around and goes, "Oh hey, you're home early." I said, "I'm home at my normal time, in my house, that you broke into." She laughed like I was joking. She said she didn't break in, she used the key I gave her. I told her that key was for emergencies. She said this was an emergency. Their air conditioning broke and it was hot at their place, so they just decided to come to my house, without asking, without even texting me. Glenn didn't even look away from the TV, just said, "Yeah, it's like 90 degrees at our place." I said, "So call a repair guy." He said they cost too much, and they'd just hang here until it cooled down in a few days. I looked at the couch. One of the kids had chocolate on his hands and was wiping it on the cushions. The other one was using my throw pillows as a fort on the floor. I said, "You need to leave right now." Trish rolled her eyes and said, "Don't be dramatic. We're family." I walked to the kitchen and she had taken food out of my fridge. Sandwich stuff on the counter. She was making dinner with my groceries. I said, "I'm calling the cops if you don't leave in the next 2 minutes." She laughed again and said I wouldn't do that. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911 right there. The operator answered and I said, "I need police at my address. Someone broke into my house and won't leave." Trish's face changed real fast. She said, "Are you serious right now?" I just kept talking to the operator, giving them my address. Glenn finally got up. He said, "This is crazy. We're family." I said, "You're trespassing." The operator asked if I was in danger and I said no, but they refused to leave and used a stolen key to get in. Trish started yelling that she didn't steal anything. I gave her the key. I told the operator I gave her a key for emergencies only, and she took it to break in whenever she wanted. Trish grabbed her kids and started shoving their shoes on. Glenn unplugged his phone from my charger on the coffee table. They were both cussing me out the whole time, saying I was being insane and they were just trying to cool off. The operator stayed on the line and said officers were 4 minutes away. They left before the cops showed up, but I stayed on the line. When the officers got there, I explained everything. They took a report and I showed them the texts from earlier that day where Trish never asked permission or even told me she was coming. Just me getting home to find them in my house. One officer asked if I wanted to press charges. I said yes, for trespassing. He wrote it all down, asked if I wanted the key back. I said no, I'm changing my locks tomorrow anyway. After they left, I checked the whole house. The kids had spilled juice on my hallway floor. Someone used my bathroom and didn't flush. Half my lunch meat was gone. My electric bill is gonna be higher because they cranked my AC down to like 60 degrees. I changed the locks the next morning. Cost me $200, but worth it. Trish has been blowing up my phone since then, saying I got her husband arrested, which isn't even true. They left before cops arrived.